Alright, so I'm putting my plugs back in now. Key to it is working them back in there, but don't force it. Um, Instead, just let it flow by itself. When I say that, when you screwing something, when you screwing the plugs back in, that's just me though. Fill it out and let it do it by itself, and you just guide it in. You get what I'm saying? Like, here's what I'm doing. This is my technique. See, I'm not pressing down on it. I ain't doing much. I'm just kind of turning a little bit, and I'm doing it kind of slow to make sure when you start the groove off, and it starts getting a little deeper and deeper. Which, wait a minute, let me get this correct. I took that out real quick because when you start getting the plug on, you want to make sure that you ain't that it's going in. Kind of pull and tug on it every once in a while to make sure the plug is kind of getting in there, but not too hard. But just every once in a while, just to make sure it's going in just right, you know, or going in period, and then kind of eventually occasionally, pulling and tugging here and there, making sure it's in the grooves to where they won't strip. When I say stripping, I mean the way you can't get them back out. That's a pain in the neck. Uh, Sorry about that. Yeah, I'm just kind of letting it take its time, and once I get it to a certain point, it's a little wiggly here, but you'll see in a second. Just kind of let it guide itself. I mean, you got it, but let it screw itself back in. Fill it out, you know. That way you ain't got to worry about it stripping or nothing like that. Just don't rush it. Even though I'm pressing for time like crazy right about now, but on the other hand, I want to make sure my stuff done right. And this is why mechanics charge so much because the good mechanics, they take their time. They don't rush their jobs because they know how important it is for these components to work properly. Um, and that's how I feel about mine. I'd rather a person take their time and get it right the way, let's put it like this. I'd rather have, I'd rather take my time and get things together than to rush it. Because when you rushing it, you could have missed out on something. Something could be slipping. Something just you just don't know about. And then when you get everything back together after rushing, thinking you did it all fast and quick, you got yourself a problem because you either missed a step or it's just something. It's all just let's just say it's always something guaranteed that you're gonna miss. And in this case, when it comes to these spark plugs, man, you ain't want to miss a beat with these. I'm trying to tell you. So it's going in pretty good by itself. Don't worry about how much time it's going to take because, it's going to take some time. You know what I'm saying? Especially when it's going by, especially with long screws and all that at the bottom of it. And besides, you don't even know what's going on down there. See, it's not like you fixing the house where you could actually see what you're doing. But then on the other hand, in some cases, when you're fixing the house, you can't see what you're doing. Bad reference, but at the same time, yeah, that's all I'm saying. Man, it's crazy. Just take your time. That's all I'm saying. Take your time and guide it. Don't really force nothing. But it's kind of like raising a child or just just doing things accordingly. Go by the do some by the book stuff, but let things kind of go for itself, especially when it comes to these plugs, because these plugs could be the worst things ever. I'm starting from the back. This is the very first one I'm putting back in, and I'm just letting it go. I hand did it without the ratchet first to make sure I wasn't getting it wrong. And as it goes continuously goes in, guess what? The plug gonna work itself in there within those grooves. I don't care how long it's gonna take me. I'm gonna get it right. You know. You might not have all the time in the world, but if you don't, then you don't need to be doing this job or messing with these plugs because once you get out there on that road, you get out there somewhere in an open area, And you try to open it up or so much as crank them, man, you could be going all the way back to square one in the first place again. And I was just informed by one of my partners not too long ago that I could have a bad catalytic converter, so I'm gonna check into that another day. But for right now, I'm just trying to make sure that I get these plugs in. And I'm not really rushing, you know what I mean? I'm just kind of trying to do this and get it together to the point to where I know it's going to be right. Right now, it's starting to tighten up a little bit because I can feel it. And that's what you want. You want to make sure that you get it tight. My preference would use some anti-seize formula whenever you screwing something like this back in. That way you can get them back out, or the next person can get them back out whenever they get the car. But at the same time, if you do it right the first time, you ain't got to do it you don't have to worry about going back as quickly. I mean, cars gonna always need to be worked on, tuned up, and fixed and whatnot. You know, so I ain't rushing. You know, just letting it guide itself in pretty much. Right now, it's doing pretty good. So far, so good. I'm gonna check and see if this plug actually going in just to be on the safe side. Let me see. Pull this out first, cause it's always good to check your work as you go along. Dang, boy. Yeah, it's definitely going in, cause this thing right here it's getting tougher to pull out. Yeah, see. So it's definitely going in. They say 100 and whatever feet of torque or whatever pounds of torque, whatever it is called. You know, I'm not certified, but my grandfather was, and he taught me well. You know, he said, "Shoot, just fix the damn thing." That's all he basically said. You know, shoot, if you can't do it, then you get somebody to do it for you. And basically, so yeah, now we know our piece going in real good. You know, I'm gonna do all 8 of them the same way. And while that epoxy and all that stuff dry on that valve cover gasket, you know, I got the tape wrapped around the top because I had to kind of seal off where that oil pan was at, where the inlet for the oil was. You can never be too sure about these things though, so triple check yourself if you got to. Make sure you got that stuff going on in the right direction, man. Alright, I'm gonna stop it right here. I'm gonna go ahead and knock these plugs out. By the time I'm done, I'm gonna go in the house, take me a little nap, and go from there.